All right, welcome to The Route, where we talk about scaling your pest control company with all the tools, tactics, techniques, any other T word you can think of, anything you need to scale your company, we talk about it here. So, today, specifically, episode one, we're going to be talking about how to scale past $250,000 of annual revenue. I talk to dozens of owners every week. A lot of them are right beneath that mark. A lot of them are doing 10, 15, sometimes 20K a month and just right under the 250K mark annually. And so I boiled it down and really thought back to everyone I've talked to and things they struggle with and just the themes that I keep coming back to every single time with those people. And there's really five things. So we're going to go over those five things in this episode of what you can do today, this week, this month to really set your company up to scale past 250K. So let's dive in. Number one, pricing. I'm a huge proponent, advocate, whatever you want to say, of pricing. I'll bring it up all the time. Pricing is so fundamental to the growth of your company, but so many pest control owners are so hesitant and scared and think small with it. I think what's happened in the industry is the service itself, pest control, has become a commoditized offer, meaning people just race to the bottom. People start companies and they think, oh, pest control is just the same. Everyone sprays, everyone does the same thing. And so the one area where I can beat my competitors is a lower price. So they go lower. And the next guy does the same thing. He goes lower, lower. And nowadays we have pest control owners doing services for $40 a service, $50 a service, $60 a service. That's insane. That's crazy. Just so you know, right now there are companies out there that are doing services for $200 plus. I talked to guys doing 250 per service. And I talked to other guys who are doing $50 per service. That's a 5x difference on the same service. So many people just undervalue their time and their service and they think of it the wrong way. So you need to shift your mind from minimal, just cost-based pricing to what value do I provide? And it really starts with knowing your numbers. So you want to be shooting for a 75% gross profit margin, meaning if you charge, let's say, $100 for the service, it can cost you $25 or it should cost you $25 to that service. That leaves you with a 75% margin for the rest of your expenses. And what are those $25? There's three categories. So your fuel, your labor, and your supplies. Those are the three categories that go into what it costs to provide a service. And for owner operators out there where you're not paying yourself right now or you are paying yourself, but that's not factored into a technician pay, there's just two numbers. And if you only have two numbers, your margin should be 90% because those two numbers are fuel and chemicals. So really knowing your numbers is going to help you. Most guys, if you looked at your numbers right now, you probably have about 50% gross margins, maybe lower. You need to be shooting for 75% if you have a technician, 90% if it's just you. And what's going to happen is when you raise your prices, when you charge more for a service in any industry, you get better customers. You get customers that pay you on time. You have more margin to spend on whatever you want. Better chemicals, better supplies, better trucks, better employees, whatever you want. Your customers pay you more consistently. They stay with you longer. Like any issue you're having right now in your business with customers or payments can be solved with raising your prices. There'll be just a handful of people that cancel if you raise your prices, and I can almost guarantee those customers are the ones that you don't mind the fact that they canceled. You're kind of happy they're gone because they're always late. They're always telling you, oh, next month I'll pay, or hey, give me another week, or they ghost you for 2 months, and then all of a sudden they pop back up. Hey, can I get a service? But they're 3 months late on payments. Like raising your price will get rid of those types of customers, and you'll have high quality customers paying you high quality prices, and makes your life a whole lot easier. They're on auto pay. You go do the job, you're paid, and you can keep going. So, really understanding that you can raise your price, you need to just totally detach your mindset from how you currently view pricing. If you charge right now $40, $50, $60 for a service, understand that you can charge double that and not change a single thing about your service. Also know that you can tweak a few things with your service and charge triple that. So there's no ceiling to what you can charge, but there's definitely a bottom to what you can discount to or how low you can go. And a lot of owners are getting pretty low and they're pushing the limits of 40, 30, I know $35 a service. I've heard of that. And they wonder why they can't scale. It's because you have no margin to grow. If you're charging that little, you have no margin to pay for an employee or have any sort of growth or have any sort of marketing spend or anything. So, especially right now, as you're thinking about growing and wondering what can I do, immediately raise prices. I'm talking $5, $10, $15 per month. I'm talking $20, $30 per service. And if you want, you can either do right now, just do a clean break and only customers going forward, just have a new kind of standard of pricing, or go backwards and kind of work with your previous customers and start to raise their prices and kind of inch them up. I do like $5 this year and then maybe $5 next year and really start working there. But either way, raise customers' prices. Your life will be easier. You're going to like your job more. You're going to be happier because what's also going to happen is your perception of your own value of not only your service, but you as a person is going to change. When you're doing services for $40 a service, you go there, you do hard work, you're there for 30 minutes, an hour, and then you leave and you get $40 in your pocket. And you start to attach that to the value you provide and the value of your company as a whole. And so a lot of owners really start to not enjoy their work. They get frustrated with the state of their company and how things are going. But just imagine if you did that same job and had $150 come to your pocket. You feel better about yourself and the job you're providing because of the value attached with it monetarily. So, number one, raise your prices. You can do it. You should do it. You're going to be happy when you do it. That's number one. All right, number two, a big issue I see with owners is the way they provide their service isn't scalable. And one clear-cut sign is spending too much time at a service. So there's owners out there who will do services for an hour or an hour and a half and, pull up a chair at the customer's house and sit down and talk to them and catch up on life. And, honestly, it's a good thing to do. I mean, the intention behind it is providing a quality customer experience and connecting with your customers and being kind of the go-to guy in the area and the face of the company connecting with the customer. I get that. And if you want that type of company, then keep doing that. But you can't do that and then also complain about not being able to scale or be frustrated about not being able to scale because those two things can't go hand in hand. So if you want to be able to scale and really get past 250K in revenue, you need to create and provide a service that's scalable. And just think in this terms, think if I had 10 technicians, could they all do what I'm doing? So another way you can think of this is, do I have one-off things I do for special customers? Do I show up to Mrs. Jones' house and she has me, spray this side but don't spray this side, or do only this part here, or bring a special chemical for the dog because the dog's allergic to this chemical, or only come Saturdays at 8 a.m. every second Saturday of the month? Like really technical special services that it works okay right now and it's probably giving you a little bit of a headache right now, but just know that as you scale, and if you want to scale, those headaches will scale with you. And those situations become a bigger headache because if you have 1,000 customers and now you have all these different people with special needs, or you just still have those first 10 or 15 that just request specific things. Oh, just use this chemical, only come at this time, only do this side, specifically treat for this, or make sure you text me because I get off work at 4:30 and I want to be there by 4:45. So can you show up between 4:50 and 5? That's right. Like all those little things doesn't scale. So you need to cut those things off right now. And it can feel hard to do because you can be a customer now to really just going above and beyond and giving people whatever they want and doing everything you can to give them a great experience. And that's good, but it doesn't scale. So focus on creating a scalable service with the service you provide, the customer experience, and the time that you're there. So the optimal amount of time is 30 to 40 minutes. If it's an initial service, I recommend 45 to an hour, and that's getting there, doing everything, packing up and leaving. And then for routine services, quarterly, bi-monthly, whatever you do, I would say 30 to 45, 30 to 40. That is an optimal time range of high quality that still sets you apart from those massive companies that, customers complain and say they're here for 10 minutes, but it's still scalable. And so you're getting good work done, and the time that you're there is equated with value in the customer's eyes, and it's still scalable with, hey, if I had 20 technicians, they could all do the same thing. At the same time, if there's customers that are requesting all these specific things, you need to cut that off now, because you want your service to be just like a cut and paste. Like, here's what we do, and we roll with it. You don't want to minimize the service. So there's a pretty fine balance between creating a service that has extreme value to it, and then also creating a service that is replicable. So you don't want a 5-minute service that is replicable but is not high quality. And then on the other side of things, you don't want an hour and a half service that is high quality but you can't replicate. There's something right in the middle, which is right around the 30 to 40 minutes. That's the time range. And then the service is XYZ, fill in the blank for you and your company. Too many owners spend way too much time at the house. And then what will also happen is, as you scale, as you hire the first technician, those customers who are used to you being there for 30 or hour plus, now when a technician comes and he's there for 30 minutes and does a great job, the customer's like, what the heck? Like, I'm used to the guy being here for an hour and pulling up and having a cup of coffee with me. Or, dude, how'd you get done in 30 minutes? That's never been done before. And now their standard has been set way too high. And so even when a guy goes and does a great job, it doesn't meet the standard that they're used to. And so they're going to be unhappy. So in all reality, by doing that right now, you're setting yourself up to not do the opposite of scaling. You're setting yourself up to have a drop off once you try to scale. So set up a service type, a service frequency, a service time range that has the ability to be replicated by technicians so you can scale. That's number 2. Number 3, a lot of owners struggle with this. You need to get out of the technician mindset. So a lot of owners come from being a technician. They're the technician for 5 or 10 years at a company, and they learn the job well, and they're extremely great at providing a great service and making customers happy. But a trap they can fall into is that's all they're doing in their business as an owner. And think about that in your business. Is that all you've been doing for the past 6 months, 12 months, year, whatever? Have you been great at doing a quality service and making customers happy? Because if you are, you probably have experienced this plateau where you don't have many cancellations at all. Like you can boast about your cancellations, and it's like, hey, I've had 4 customers cancel ever, and they all moved out of the service area, so there's nothing I could do about it. That's great, but there's a lot that you're missing in terms of running a business. You need to take a step back or a step up, however you want to look at it, and view your company as an owner would view it. So as a technician, and what you're used to in the past is you show up, you do your job, you make customers happy, but there's a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes that you don't see or that you're not aware of, that you need to be fully doing yourself now. So, operations, putting systems in place, knowing your numbers, marketing, taking those steps into those unknown categories that you don't have experience in. No one teaches you it, and that's okay. It's not taught in school. They don't teach it to you when you're a technician, so there's no way you learn these things other than really facing it head on. Definitely getting in groups and talking with other owners and learning from people who are ahead of you. But in terms of like just a training or a manual you can just sit down and read, that's not a thing. You really learn it from experience. But too many owners are just focused on those 2 things that they're already great at, making the customer happy and doing a great service. And you can scale a company to about 100 or 200K in revenue by just being good at those 2 things. But in order to scale past that, you need to get in the owner mindset of, okay, like how can we onboard our customers better and give them a better experience where they're rewarded for being a customer and they leave a review or give us a referral. How can we do that? Or, hey, how can we dial in our contract to make it more robust and better for growth? Or, hey, what does our business look 3, 6, 9 months down the road? Where are the projections at? What's the future looking like? What expenses do I need to be aware of? What's the revenue looking like come cold season? How much is it going to drop off? Or, hey, what partnerships can we go out and get? What schools, what businesses, what social influencers can we go talk to and create partnerships so we can scale this thing? Those are the kind of things that owners think about, and that's the way they think about their business. It's always a really dynamic, moving piece of growth, of operations, of systems, of the health of the company right now. There's a lot more you need to look at than just making a customer happy. And that's why a lot of owners who do spend an hour and a half with a customer, hey, you're making them really happy, but at the same time, you're wasting time that needs to be spent in another area of the business that you probably just don't know about right now. So, going back to the last point, by leaving the customer's house in 30, 45 minutes, even though you don't have a full route, and now you're stepping out and say, let's say you have 5 houses today to do. A lot of owners will take all day to do those 5 houses because it feels good to fill their whole day. And now they get all the jobs done, and then they go home and talk to their wife, and they're like, oh, it was great, but I just can never grow my business, and like I don't have time for it, and I'm working so hard, and I can't get off the truck because I can't hire a technician, but I can't scale the business because I'm not big enough to do this, and so I'm just stuck, and I just don't have time to do anything else. Here's number one thing you should do: spend 30 minutes at each service. So now those 5 customers, you're done in 2.5, 3 hours max, and you pull the truck back up to the office or back to your house, and now you're faced with 5 hours of unplanned uncertainty open time. And now you got to figure it out. And that's business, is figuring out how to scale your business and taking out that fluff that helps you feel good about your business that is actually keeping you blind to what you need to be doing. So when you get back to the office or you sit down at your computer and it's like, let's figure it out. Let's look at expense reports. Let's look at future growth plans. Let's look at the customer experience. Let's look at reviews. How many referrals have we gotten in the past 12 months? Do we have a referral plan set up right now? Do we have any system in place where if I brought in a technician, he'd know what to do? Or if I brought in an office person, they'd know what to order? Or do I have anything optimized in my CRM? Or those kind of things are the things that really move a business forward. And it's the boring stuff. Because in all reality, the boring things grow businesses. And that's why so many businesses don't grow, because they ignore the boring things. Because in all reality, those things probably have very little consequence in your business right now. And so it feels like it doesn't matter, because it probably doesn't. But if you make it matter right now, you'll scale faster. And then as you start scaling, you'll go even faster because those things are in place. So focus on those boring things in your business, because those things are the things that are going to scale your business. Number 4, knowing your numbers. And don't think old school pen and paper, balance the checkbook, have every receipt from every transaction, and writing out a budget by hand. That's not anymore. There's so many softwares out there right now that you can just plug in or connect to your accounts, and all you need to do is a few clicks and track things. But again, a lot of business owners in the pest control industry come from being a technician, and they never had to face the financial side of things. So if this sounds like you right now, if all you look at is your bank account, if that's the one financial number you look at, your business is not running optimally at all. What you need to do is set up a QuickBooks account or any financial institution account that can show you your revenue each month, a breakdown of every expense broken into categories, and then you can see trends over time. So just think, if your business right now is doing 10 to 15K in revenue, or even 20K in revenue, that's a lot of money that is coming into your pocket every month. And you might think of it that way because, money goes out, obviously. You're not keeping all that money. But for a certain amount of time, you have 10 to 15 to 20K that you are in control of. And at the same time, if your bank account isn't growing by at least 3 to 4 to 5K every month, then you're not running a clean, smooth business. Because here's the breakdown. Let's start with someone who makes 10K in revenue. You should have, if you're an owner operator, you should have at least 90% gross profit margin, meaning 10% of what you make goes to the cost of providing the service. So fuel and chemicals. So now you have 90% left. With that 90%, now you have to pay for insurance, marketing, office supplies, utilities, all those expenses that keep the business rolling month by month, but aren't attached to the service itself. Those expenses are usually around 30, 35%, sometimes 40%. So you had 90% left over after you paid for the service itself. Now let's say worst case 40%. It goes to everything else in the business. You're left with 50% profit. That's not even a crazy number. That's a true That's a true example of where you should be at if you're a one-man show. But so many owners out there literally are breaking even just because they don't know where their money's going. So if you're making 10K in revenue, you should be at least netting 4 to 5K every month. And if you're not, get in the spreadsheets, look at where the money's going. Just by sitting down one time, you'll be able to pick out several transactions or expenses that do not belong in the business. And here's the way you should look at it. So my business, we ran out of my house for 3 years. We didn't rent out an office. We didn't move into a space. And the first year itself, we were in a 2-bedroom apartment. So we could have gone out and got an office space, but I saved $100,000 at least by not doing that. And side note, not only did I save that, but then I had tenants living in my house and the apartment too that were offsetting. They were paying the rent, so that was completely covered. So you could say I saved $200K by not paying for an office space and having my living space and current office space paid for. But anyway, so the way you want to look at it is the expenses you're deciding on right now, you need to look at them in 2, 3, 4 year increments. So when you see something that's $200 a month, or you're thinking about doing $1,000 expense, or paying $5,000 for this new thing, think about what it'd be in 3 years. Because I could have afforded an office, no problem, $2, $3, $4,000 a month, but I looked long term and said, hey, I can save $100,000 if we wait 3 years to do this. And just think in your business, if you had $100,000 more than you do right now, how could you scale your business? How much faster could you go? Or what could you do? There's probably a lot of ideas coming to mind because money gives you leverage in business. It gives you more opportunities. It gives you more shots on goal. It gives you more opportunities to be wrong because you have more margin to be right. So by just absolutely cutting unnecessary expenses and even expenses you think might be necessary, there's probably equipment out there that you bought that you probably didn't need to, or chemicals, or a certain truck wrap that you got, or flyers or pamphlets or gear, company polos, logos, stickers, a lot of things that you just feel excited about being an owner and, paying for all these things. And you have this freedom to go and, build a business and have all these cards you hand out and stickers and branding. Like there's so many fun things with being an owner that a lot of owners just get head over heels for. But if you didn't pay, say, whatever, $200 a month, in 4 years, that's a lot of money. In 5 years, that's a lot of money. So any expense you face, just think, hey, let's say this thing cost me $500. Don't think of it as $500. Think of it as $10,000. Is this worth $10,000 to me, or is it not? In most cases, it won't be. And if you can run your business super, super lean for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you're going to take off and scale super fast because you have such an advantage over every other company because you have more margin, you have more money, you can spend more, you can go get better employees, better equipment, better marketing strategies. So cut like crazy. Do not spend on what you do not need. And in pest control, 99% of things you do not need. And even if you feel like you need something, ask yourself if you could go without it, and then ask yourself again if you need that thing. So last thing, number 5, customer retention. So scaling past 250K, a lot of owners think to themselves like, I just need more leads. I need more, I need my phone ringing more. I need more people coming in the door. When I firmly believe any owner can get past 250K with zero marketing spend, not looking at any marketing, but just focusing on what they have right now. So onboarding your customers better, retaining customers better, getting them to leave you reviews and getting more organic flow into your business, getting them to give you referrals and doing a great job with your current customer so they want to refer you to more people. On top of that, you probably have 50 to 100 names and leads in your back pocket. So stop thinking forward and asking yourself like, where's my next lead coming from? What do I need to pay? Or what marketing do I need? Look at your business right now and see you have current customers right now. How can you make them worth more? So upsell them on other plans, raise their prices, cross-sell them on other things. And then in your back pocket, who do you have that you can resell? So old leads, leads that never converted, past customers that canceled, all those things. You have people that you can convert that you already have some sort of relationship with. It might not have ended great, but that lead is worth, again, $1,000, $2,000. If that person re-signs up and then uses your service for 3 or 4 or 5 more years, that's thousands of dollars that this person's worth. And so just like how you need to view expenses in kind of the lifetime value of that expense, view leads and customers and contacts in the lifetime value of that lead. So if you have 50 leads in your back pocket or just 50 contacts that used you once or called you once, that could be worth $50,000, $100,000. So view it as that and really tap into that. So set up automations that go out or call those people again or somehow contact those people to get them re-engaged and back on your service, and then really retain your current customers and make them worth more. I believe that any company can get past 250K just with what's right in front of them and right behind them. So those are the 5 things I wanted to cover: pricing, raising those prices, understanding value in a different way, and not cutting to be the only differentiator you have. You can charge more and get more customers. Have a service that's scalable. Really work on your mindset and thinking of your business as an owner and not just as someone in the business like a technician. Know your numbers, understand percentages, monthly flows, expenses, where all the money's going, and then focus on customer retention and getting old leads converted again. If you do those 5 things, you can scale past 250K in annual revenue, and it will set you up to go even faster and even farther than that. So that wraps up episode 1. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found some value in it. If you have, hopefully you share this with another pest control owner that might be thinking about starting or stuck right now under 250K in revenue. And I will see you on the next episode.